project management, you have to break down a big task into smaller tasks and independent deliverables that you can. Now, once you start breaking this project down, the first thing that I can see in your idea is you've got two distinct deliverables. Okay, one deliverable is the wine database, which you are trying to come up with the criteria to choose the wine.
Yeah.
Once you choose the criteria, you're coming up with this game or any other method to identify what the parameters for those criteria are. Okay, so you may have a wine database, and for those wines you've got say 10, 15 different criteria, and based on the percentage marks or whatever, 1 out of 5 for each of those criteria, you will select the wine. That's your first thing. After you have that, then you can say, okay, criteria 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. To reach those, I want to use an app, or I want to use the game, or I want to use infographic, or I want to use a Q&A or something like that. That is your second delivery. You cannot do part 2 without doing part 1.
Yeah.
Correct? So what you're going to have to show in your project management is how do you first get to the database. Then from the data, first of all, you have to show all of this, whatever we just said.
Yeah.
Right? That this is how I planned it out. This is how I realized that part 2 cannot be done before part 1. And for part 1, I need the first thing I need was the database. Then I prioritized all these tasks. After prioritizing them, I started building my database. For my database, I spoke to person X, person Y, person Z. I researched online, etc., and I came up with all these wines. These wines can be classified into white grape, red grape, country, winemaker, age, all of those, and price as well. Price is also very important. Based on the audience that I was targeting, anything above 25 pounds I discarded because that was not the audience. For example, whatever you want to say. And anything below, say, 3 pounds I discarded as well. Okay, so between 3 to 25 pounds, whichever wines were remaining, that was my database. Now, that database was then classified, and you had this gradation. For each of those gradations, I had to come up with what criteria will point to that wine. Okay, so if someone scores the highest in 1, 2, 3, he goes to the Pinot Noir from France. If someone scores the highest in ABC, he goes to the Cabernet Sauvignon from Chile. Something like that.
Okay.
Once you do that, then you know what criteria you're grading people on. Then you decide how do you come up with the game for that. That's part 2. Even if you get to part 1 in 1 month, that will be really, really good. And then part 2 is just, at least for the scope of this project, it's just going to be a formality. Because as long as you've shown that this is your thought process, should be fine. Whether it actually works out or not.
That's how I feel like by the end of, now that we are saying part 1, by the end of part 1, I want to record a film where I'm speaking about my idea of what I want to do, and maybe have a few sketches or just one screen or just a short film about someone actually doing it. So the idea is different. That's the final product that I'm thinking of by the end of 1 month.
Yeah.